Hello, everyone. Code Monkeys. Today we're going to be doing something a little different than the usual C tutorials. We're going to be doing some basic Linux navigation, because that is something I've seen a lot in my experience as something that folks aren't necessarily super comfortable with. So, the first thing to know about the shell in basically any Linux, and this will work in most, if not all, shells. I think it's actually a program and not a built-in. Is you can use the cd change directory command to get around. So, cd period period will take you up one level. You can see we went from /work/code to /work, and you can cd back down into code. Much like the dot dot abbreviation, there is a dot abbreviation, but it doesn't do much because dot is an abbreviation for the current folder. If you don't have your shell rigged up to show you your working directory like I do, you can always get it with the pwd command. The cd command also has a nice feature where if you say go somewhere strange, like say root, and you want to get back, you cd dash. I've heard a lot of people call that the tack. I believe there's also a push D and a pop D. I don't know if they are in this version of Linux. We're working with Alpine. Yeah, it's not here. Fair enough. Another thing most Linux programs have in common is that they have a -- help option. Oh, okay. Yeah, CD is a built-in, it looks like. PWD might have it. Nope. Okay, we'll come back to that one. We'll find something that actually has that option. LS? Yeah, there we go. LS is an actual program, so it's got the usual stuff associated with the camera. Golly, maybe we'll re-record this one later. That isn't very professional. It's the -- help option is specified by the POSIX standard, so most things will have it, but keep in mind that not everything will conform to that standard. Usually pretty reliable. Moving right along to LS. LS will list the files in the current directory. This one you can see has colors enabled. LS is usually one that's got some options baked into it in a way that I think we're going to ignore for now, but we'll circle back on if we continue this Linux series. LS has actually some pretty interesting functionality, so you can do ls-1, and you get everything in one column like that. You can... what am I caught on there? You can do ls-a will include everything that is a hidden file or folder, and in Linux, hidden files and folders start with a dot. We can actually make a hidden file with the touch command you've seen me use in the C programming series before. And you can see, if we do a regular ls, we're not going to see .hidden, but if we do an ls-a, it should show right up. There it is. Oh, if you do ls-A, before I start showing you every single command, how are we doing on time, you will get the hidden files and folders, but you won't get dot and dot dot listed. A handy command a lot of people use with ls is ls-l. Gives you this handy list interface here. It'll show you what the oh, I guess we're going to roll without the camera today. It doesn't specify which these are. They're always in the same order. I believe the first one is the owner, and the second one is the group. Obviously, because this is a container, I'm just flying as root. there's only so much you can mess up your system when you're inside a container. It is possible. Always be careful. These over here are going to be the file permissions. R is read, W is write, and there's 3 sets of them, so let me see if I've got this right. It's going to be owner for the first one, which I believe is U for user, that's what it is, but the user is the owner of the file. This is going to be the permissions for the group that's associated with the file. That would be this guy over here. And this is going to be for everybody else. This tag over here represents directories, which we can actually get in on if we use our next command, mkdir, a folder, we will call it. And if we go ahead and find it, oh, every implementation of ls sorts things differently, so you're going to have to get used to it on your system. You can see right here, we've got the D for directory. What are some other fun things I can show you with this? There's an extra set of permissions that have to do with sort of advanced functionality, but I think we're going to skip that for now. I don't know what any of this is. Oh, is that the... No, that's not the file size. This is the file size over here. I don't know what unit it's in. Which is actually a perfect time to show you ls-lh. We'll put it in human readable, which I believe K is kilobytes, and then depending on your system, it might have an ls capital H. Oh, not sure what that is. Oh, anyway. A lot of these programs have a lot more functionality than you'll ever use, so don't be afraid to not understand what half of the program does. Just get used to using it for what you need to use it for. That's the best way to start getting into this stuff and start gaining the skills you're going to need. What on earth is core? Oh well, come back to that later. Oh, that's from core dumps when I segfault in the C programming videos. Okay. That is something that is beyond my ken. What else can we show you? There's an rmdir, a folder, so that'll work. I believe that does not work if there's anything in the folder. Yeah, there we go. Directory's not empty. If you want to force kill a directory, you can actually use the regular remove command. Give me just a moment. I think we have... Didn't we have a bum file here? Yeah, hidden. So you can use rm to remove files. Hidden. That should make that go away. You can also use it to remove directories, but you got to be careful. Is it big R, little f, I think? Oh, no. Little r for recursive, and then f for force. Believe it or not, the f is not for folder. And that'll just go. So, no interactivity, no nothing. If you type that, it is gone, and you're not getting it back. Be careful. I have messed that up myself before. Let's see here. We've done touch, we've done... Yeah, creating directories, removing directories, creating folders, removing folders, listing directory content. We've done getting around with CD. Another interesting thing is you can end up in situations where you have what they call a dashed file name. And usually the way you deal with that, or I should say the most generic way to deal with that is... Well, let's use nano to make it. Put some stuff in here, and we will Control O to save. We can just call our file dash. This will create problems because if we try to, let's say, list its content with the cat program, it's angry at us. And go ahead and break out of there. Control-C sends the SIGINT signal. It is not like Windows that way. Just for fun, we'll run cat on another file. Not far, 4.c. Probably help if I spell cat correctly. And you can see it gives you, when it's working correctly, it gives you the contents of the file directly onto the command line. Very important, you'll use it a lot. But if we want to do our dashed file name, I believe we use tac to indicate the end of options list. I believe it's the technical term. And we can throw our file name in right after that, and that still doesn't like it. Okay. There's other ways around it. That'll work. Huh. I could have sworn that was how you do it. Oh well. There's plenty of resources out here you can use to supplement what I'm telling you here. The one I got this particular example from that's giving us so much trouble, I believe it was from Bandit Over the Wire. If I remember, that link will end up in the description at some point. Let's see here. Maybe RM will like it. So if I do RM tac. Oh, that just went. That just went. Okay. Every individual system is different, kids. Stuff surprises me. Let's... How are we doing on time here? We're at 11 minutes. What if we try something a little more interesting? grep. grep is a fantastic program. It's grep, not G. Grep, I believe, will have the usual help. Yes, okay. And now, because we are in a fairly typical container, I don't think we'll have a man page for grep. Yeah, this doesn't have man installed. Man is a handy little command. On most normal systems, you will get a... I believe it runs less or more. It's a program that examines the contents of files, and it'll give you more information than you could ever digest in one sitting about whatever program you're trying to look up. But in this case, running Alpine on a container, we don't actually have access to it. So, that said, let's use grep to do something. And let's see the pipe in action while we're doing it. So we can do ls, and we can also take that output and pipe it to other programs with that vertical bar symbol. That is the one that is on the key that's usually between enter and backspace. And send that to grep. And grep, I believe it stands for GNU Regular Expression Parser. So we can give it a regular expression to match, and the easiest way to do that is to just type what you want it to look for. So we can look for everything with 4, and it'll find 4.c and 4.0. Very convenient. We're not going to get into advanced usage on that because regular expressions could very easily be, 6 or 7 videos on their own. So let's keep it simple for now. You can use grep to actually look inside files. Let me see if I've got the syntax correct here. I believe it's going to be grep, and then it's going to be the regular expression, and then it's going to be the file. Did we get that right? Yes, we did. All right. So grep is obviously extremely powerful. There's some other programs that you can kind of use with it to do some pretty amazing things, but I think we should save those for their own video. What else can I show you as a handy-dandy introductory Linux trick? Does it have PS installed? Okay, it does. PS will list running processes that can be helpful, especially if you need to kill certain processes because they have stopped working correctly. Do we have kill on this? kill. Bad signal name help. Fair enough. Kill will send a signal to a process. The obvious one being kill-9 will send... I couldn't tell you which signal it is, but it will terminate a running process if it's capable of responding to signals in the state it's in. A very, very handy feature there. Oh, we're getting a bit off into the weeds here. Maybe we bring it back to something a little more basic. We can actually imitate that functionality of grep using the pipe and cat. So we can cat 4.c, pipe it to grep, and then have our regular expression there, and we'll get the same thing. Ah, I know what I need to show you. I need to show you the other standard input-output redirections. That type symbol is one example of what they call standard input and standard output redirection. You can do it with other things too. You've seen me use the command echo before, if you've been keeping up with my other videos. So echo will take whatever's after it and dump it onto the command line. Hello world being a good example. Will that actually work? That will work. I believe unquoting strings happens before program execution, so that should work as expected. Echo, I have seen dire warnings plastered over the internet that there's no real standardization on it and every implementation is different. Use cautiously, but it is a handy little tool. The most obvious way to use it would be if you wanted to, let's say, create a file with something in it. Let's echo hello world to some hypothetical file named hello. And if we cat, well, let's do ls first. I have a bunch of files named hello world, but you can see we've created hello. We can cat hello and get hello world back out of it. There is another way to redirect standard output. Echo hello again. And that will not obliterate the file we have, but you'll notice if we get rid of one of these and we go put something cheeky in there, touch typing is not so good today, but if we type it correctly, you will notice that the single side caret will obliterate what's in the file and the double side caret will append. Other things we can do. Echo has an interesting option. I believe it's -n. Golly, I hope I'm getting this right. Goodbye, number 2. And we can echo, oh, we can echo -n again. Goodbye again. And you can see that if we include the -n, echo will not echo the new line. That wasn't a good way to say that. Echo will not create the new line character at the end of whatever it's echoing. We are rolling right up on about 20 minutes here. That's about where I want to call it. I would like to take just a minute to think if there is anything else I could show you. Yes, input redirection. This is going to be an unimpressive example, but it'll illustrate the purpose. We can use input redirection. Use the other side caret, the left-facing one, and we can, let's keep using 4.c. So grep will take the contents of 4.c in exchange for its standard input, and then it will execute normally. We should get the same thing we got every other time. And I think we're going to cut it off there for the basic Linux utilities just to get you all started. Those would be, do a quick recap here, ls to list the contents of a folder, and list the contents of a folder you're not in, handy handy. We got cd to change folders, and you can see it changing like that. Can change back the cd tag. Oh, it didn't work. That's fine. We got cat to print the contents of a file. We got echo to echo things to standard output, and you can use it with the redirection to do funny stuff. And we got grep to do regular expression searching. This video was a little bit more freeform than my usual ones are. I got into a situation with time today, but I hope you all learned something today, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.